I have been meaning to do this for about the past week, just haven't gotten around to it. Prove Your Faith here, Jeff, did a video right after Christmas examining John 8:58 in contrast to Exodus 3:14. And at the end of it, he debunked that had anything to do with Exodus 3:14 and warned Trinitarians, you're in for it if you know stuff like this and you continue to preach to the choir. You go from being deceived to being a deceiver. Well, I don't really plan on taking on whether or not John 8:58 has much to do with Exodus 3:14. I'll leave that to somebody a lot more schooled in Greek and Hebrew than yours truly. But I want to take a look at it, especially in the light of Human Jesus Theology, which is what Jeff holds. Human Jesus Theology basically means Jesus did not pre-exist before he was conceived in Mary. It's unlike Arianism, which the Jehovah's Witnesses believe, which means Jesus existed as a spirit. God created Jesus as a spirit being before he came to earth. The first God created. Now, Human Jesus Theology, for my money, Socinianism, it is a very, very, very fragile theology. I don't know why. I don't think that many people really do hold it, but I see a handful of YouTubers who are Human Jesus people, and I don't get why. It is so fragile. It breaks. All you have to do is show one example of Jesus or an apostle or anybody making reference to Jesus's prior existence in heaven, and it's toast. And I want to take a look, in John 8:56 through 58 are primo examples of this. Now, around the 9:22 mark, Jeff makes the claim that the interchange before Abraham genomi, or as it's generally translated, came into existence, ego eimi. He makes a rather, for lack of a better term, bold claim that Jesus was saying, because sometimes, well, rarely, genomi can talk about being begotten, born, and when Jesus was begotten of God, begotten, one of the texts that it's applicable to, it's when he was born or begotten from the dead at his resurrection. Jeff tries to make this interchange by Jesus, him saying, before Abraham will be resurrected or genomi from the dead, I will be resurrected from the dead. I've heard some rather reachy explanations of John 8:58 from Socinians. This is by far the biggest reach, and just hideously wrong. Hideously wrong. I want to take a look. Here's the Greek of John 8:58. If you go to the Septuagint.org site, it'll parse the language. And this is, here's the expression, before Abraham, genomi, ego eimi. Let me zoom in on it for you. Okay? 8:58. Last four words. Abraham, genomi. Alright, so it's hovering over genomi. And what is it saying? The tense. Parsing. Aorist middle infinitive. Huh? What does that mean? It's in the aorist tense. What's the aorist tense? Stay awake, drink your coffee, this is important. Aorist. An unqualified past tense of a verb without reference to duration or completion of action. In other words, what Jesus was saying about Abraham was in the past tense. It's not in the future tense. Jesus was saying, before Abraham will be resurrected, I will be resurrected. That needs to be a past tense. It's not. It's aorist tense. So he's not saying before Abraham will be resurrected, I will be resurrected. I'm also going to point out, you can't just look at John 8:58 by itself. John 8:58 is Jesus' reply, and this is what really nukes Socinianism. It is Jesus' reply to a question his opponents are asking him. Now, he's scolding them, that saying they're no children of Abraham. And they said, your father Abraham rejoiced at the thought of seeing my day. He saw it and was glad. Now, how do they understand him saying that? I used to always understand Jesus saying that is Abraham looked forward to the thought of seeing the Messiah. He saw it, I guess, prophetically in a vision perhaps, and was glad. But how do the Jews understand what he's saying? They're taking it to mean, you are not yet 50, and you claim to have seen Abraham. They take this to mean Jesus actually claims to have seen Abraham. Now, if Jesus says John 8:58 as meaning, well, I existed in the Father's mind before Abraham was born, or I was the Father's word before Abraham was born, or whatever other reachy Socinian explanation they give, he's not interacting with this question. They believe he is claiming to be much, much older than his actual human age. You are not yet 50 years old, and you claim to have seen Abraham. This is just a stupid response by Jesus for, if he's claiming anything other than pre-existing and being older than Abraham. Before Abraham was, ego a me. It just is. Socinians better deal with the fact that Jesus was claiming to exist as a person before Abraham was ever born. Just is what it is. He certainly wasn't talking about being resurrected someday before Abraham will be resurrected. Now, I've hit these points before. What was being discussed in John 8:56 through 57? Jesus was talking about the time that Jehovah in the flesh came, visited Abraham, and promised him that next year I'm going to visit you again, and when I visit you, you will have a son. That was a day that Abraham was looking forward to. Rejoiced at the thought of seeing my day. He saw it and was glad. That's what he meant. That's how they understood it. And what does he say in 8:58 before Abraham was born? Ego a me. Now, Arians, Jesus could have said 50 different things to communicate that he came into existence before Abraham came into existence. But he chose a phrase like ego eimi. I don't know, and let's see how the Septuagint parses it. Ego, singular, present active, indicative. In other words, I am in the present tense. Jehovah's Witnesses who want to insist this means I have been. Show me one other time where ego eimi in John's Gospel means I have been. It always means I am. You will not find it. Now, and I've been over this before, I would dare say I've beaten this dead horse. Jesus' language is a dead-on echo of Psalm 92 in the Septuagint. This is how the Jews ascribe deity to God in Psalm 92. Before the mountains existed, before the earth and the world was formed, even from age to age, thou art. Thou art, the Greek is sui. It is the second person equivalent of ego eimi. In other words, before something ancient came into existence, God, you are. Jesus says before Abraham came into existence, I am. Dead on echo, Jews hear that and realize this man is blaspheming because they didn't believe he was God, and tried to stone him. It's that simple. I know Arians will kick and scream and bite and do anything they can to make this not about Jesus claiming deity, but it is. And Socinians, let the Bible form your theology, and don't torture the text by trying to make it be that Jesus is claiming that he's going to be resurrected before Abraham, or whatever other hackneyed explanations of that text to keep your theology alive. Just let Jesus say what Jesus said. Thank you.